All right. Had to silence the background there. So this is it. Oh my God, this is it. Bitcoin's going to zero right now. This is it. I hope everybody is freaking out, liquidating all their positions, losing their mind, and giving up on life because this is it. Of course, I'm being facetious. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I don't believe that. But I did want to hop on and kind of address some things. I did a stream, I don't know, yesterday, the day before. I don't know when it was, but I recently did a stream and we talked about this and the potential for us to dip down lower here. And it was a stream specifically on the weekly close. So let's have a little look over here. I want to turn this up maybe just a little bit. All right. So we had a weekly close last week for the first time. It had closed below kind of this level right around here, right? But clearly we had, all these wicks, and first time we had a solid body close, kind of below this 34,000, and quite some time since January, I guess it would have been. And when we covered this on the other channels on YouTube and on here as well, one of the things that I was addressing was, and I'm just going to throw this into log real quick. Sorry, I'm so congested. One of the things I want to talk about, and that we had addressed before, was this potential cross of the 382 on the RSI. Okay. And so I review it every time, but I'll do it again. I utilize the Fibonacci retracement levels on my RSI, and I trade these levels. Now, this 382 and the 618 are important, right? Because when we have crosses on these levels, generally it corresponds with a break of a previous area of support or resistance. In this case, we're looking at support. So on the weekly, we haven't done it yet. Okay. And, we're way too early in the week to really tell as to whether or not this candle will close down here in this region, right? On that 382. But, clearly we're testing it here. Okay. Now we've done this before, right? We came down here, it came down here, had a few times over here. Sorry, I'm a magnet. And so we get, had all these different times that we've tested this region, never really came to anything. But that said, this candle here, right, is what was concerning to me. Now, again, what we were looking at was the weekly, but I also covered this 4-day candle and how, if we were to cross into this region on the 4-day or specific, even the 2-day, really, we would see this dump. And sure enough, right, we crossed here on the 2-day, and we got a dump against a area. Let me just draw it out here. I'll do a nice line here, right, where we had this area of support, and then we went below it, and now we're getting this impulsive move down, right? We got another day and a half. Look at the chat. Marketizenza. I'm not even going to try. Is it pretty much safe to buy? Well, let me, you be the judge here. Let's cover a few things first. So, we moved down here, and now we're in this range, right? Whoop, that's not my drawing tool. Right in here. Okay. And even if we take this on the daily, right, we dip back below this. And again, we broke this area of support when we broke the 382 on the RSI. This is why I trade these levels. I see it over and over and over again. I encourage you to, test it yourself. But this is my observation and why I created this indicator to trade these levels. So when it pushes into this region, this red region down here, right? This is when you see these moves that just have really impulsive moves down as it bounces around, right? So look at this section right here, okay? And you can see it, it just dipped further and further and further and further down, right? but it started to diverge. And then as it broke above the 382, that's when we started to see it move back up, right? Then it gave us this nice bearish divergence here, right, where it was trying to hit this 50 region, but not even close here. And that's a hidden bearish, so trend continuation. Then we started to form this wedge, this descending triangle, whatever you want to consider it here. And now we are where we are, right? And so certainly there's all sorts of speculation as to which direction it's going. I've made my case pretty clear that, for me, I'm bearish. Just my bias is bearish, if for no other reason that just looking at my DMI, right? Right here, it just shows that we are on the daily in a bearish trend. We take this up to the 2-day, same thing, bearish. 4-day, same thing, bearish. Weekly, this is where we start to get a little bit of difference here, right? And on the weekly, technically, I guess if we're looking at this and we zoom in real close, right? It had these little, I call them prayer hands, where they get these two, like, they get like really close together. They're like, oh, please, let's see which way we're going. But looks like we've got the move down, and now we've got this ADX negative directional index cross up, and we've got this impulsive candle down. So now we're at this 30,000, right? For weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, I've been saying that I've been looking for confirmation, and it's not actually on this chart. I can pull it up, but confirmation basically above 40 or below 30 on a weekly close. Okay. These daily candles dipping down here and giving this area a little smooch, just giving it a little kiss and saying hi, maybe we'll come back for dinner in a week or two, just isn't doing it. I need to see a weekly candle close below 30 or above 40 to really, have confirmation that we're going to be moving in one direction or another, with any, I don't know, higher probability, I should say. So, currently we're visiting, right? And we've done this before. And, again, looking at this daily candle, we spoke about this yesterday. Having had this candle close, below this region, I was kind of anticipating us to move down again. However, all of that said, words, we are making this kind of bullish divergence ish. Okay. Now there's a caveat here, right? That doesn't mean anything right now. Okay. We see this all the time, and I could probably find this on a lower time frame. I'm looking for it. Let me go on a 4-hour chart, and I can kind of illustrate this a little better. Let me get rid of my brush strokes here. Okay. So right here. Okay. So I'm looking at this section here. Okay. This section here and this section here. Okay. And you can see how it kind of makes this M-shaped pattern, but starts to diverge upwards. Okay. Same thing here, but as it moves in that region, we get lower lows, okay, with the exception, I guess, of this, probably forced liquidation here, massive amounts of accounts here, because this is the first time I think we broke that low for some time. Yeah, so we had a huge dip there, but overall, you can kind of see this pattern, right? Boop, boop, and then we start to get confluence here, where we're making higher lows, and price action and RSI are both making higher lows, and then it, does, some other stuff, but I paid close attention to this this pattern, because I see it a lot, right? If there's a name for this or somebody has it, yeah, I don't know. Okay, this is just my observation, that I've gained over years of doing this, right? So that said, all right, currently, we're in a very similar situation. We came up. We retested 50. Okay, so anything above 50, I consider to be bearish. Bullish. Anything below 50, I consider to be bearish, right? Our MACD is bearish. This is all in the daily. MACD is bearish, currently bearish on our ADX. And then our RSI is now, it failed 50, tried to do it here, wasn't happening, broke low, and now we're back here in this red zone, okay? And so that said, chilling out in this red zone, we know, and I encourage you to look on your own. Well, of course, I guess you don't have this indicator, but certainly you could mark the levels. When we bounce around this zone, okay, we tend to make lower lows, okay, and it just boop, 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 boop until we start to see some divergence happen, right? So that may take the form of something like, well, I mean, like we saw here, kind of, right, where it was coming up, 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 but it was going down, 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 right? And then it broke above this 382 again, okay? Tested 50, totally rejected, and then moved down again, broke the 382 here. And you can see just, I mean, look at this. This isn't a huge dip below it, right? But you can see where it breaks this support right here, okay, on this candle, and then boom, we move. You know, that was a 11% drop, okay. So again, this is why this is a critical area for me, okay, that we're currently sitting in on the RSI. Now, let's take this to catch my breath here. Let's take this to a 2-hour chart, okay. Now, all the things that I just said, same thing applies. I'm going to get rid of some of these brush strokes so it doesn't look so ugly. All right. And you can see we're down here, right? And again, as we move toward this, and when you break below the 382, or 236, I'm sorry, 382 is here, and the 236, again, you see this massive sell-off, right? This is a 3% candle on a 2-hour time frame, so significant, right? I mean, we got it here, right? Actually, I'm going to take this to a 4-hour. Okay. And so, you know, every time we break below, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So what I'm looking for is a move above 50 again. And until I see that, you know, my expectation is that we're going to keep trying this trend. Okay. And it's very likely that when we break above this trend, it'll correspond with a break above 50 on this 4-hour chart. Okay. And so back to the daily. Okay. You know, obviously we have this triangle, right, that's been formed, right? Wedge, triangle, however you want to draw it, however you want to consider it. You know, it's clear, you know, formation. We got this pattern here, okay? You know, where are we going to go? Where, that's the real question, okay? What happens now? So I'm going to take this on a weekly. All right. Actually, I'm going to take it to, I think I had a 4-day. Yeah. And then I'm going to pull my RSI. And, you know, I'm going to pull it and then I'll tell you why I did what I did. Okay. So here to here. All right. And so I utilize those two spots. Okay. Because right here was the last time it tested 50. Okay. And then, you know, clearly up here is just the top. Okay. You know, and I think we all kind of saw this coming a mile away, right? Where we had this divergence forming. And then, you know, we broke again below this 618 and then the 50 and then now the 382. These are all relevant areas, you know, at least from my perspective, where we breaking support when we correspond with this area, right? This was a support, and now we're currently breaking this 30,000 support. So if we continue to close, you know, move down and we close this day below that, I suppose I am anticipating, you know, 25, you know, 24, 25 for sure. And then certainly we could push down here to 20. I don't have it up right now, but I've seen a lot, you know, in doing this analysis, a lot of fib clusters at 22. I don't know why, but I see a lot of clustering at 22 right here. So I do have some buys there as well. So, you know, is this the end? You know, is this the end of Bitcoin? Are we, you know, going into full on bear market, whatever? Well, let's take a look at something here. You know, obviously the title is sensationalistic intentionally because there's a lot of like, Ermergerd, we're going to die, and this is it, and, you know, whatever. If you've been through, you know, all of this, then what's happening now is, you know, it's like, well, whatever. You know, even if we hit 20, it's like still great. Shoot, if I get it at 10,000, I'll be a happy camper, to be honest with you, because I'm definitely picking some more up. Anyway. I'm going to take us out here. So first, I'm actually, where is it? There we go. So I'm going to pull the linear regression trend here. Okay. So right here to right here. I'm going to take us out of log, obviously. And let's take a look at this. So this is the low, this is the high. I could actually probably pull it here and probably get a higher Pearson's R. No. So we're looking right back here is probably the best bet then. So this is your correlation, right, between your X and your Y. It's right at 8.2, so that's pretty high. But if we take this down to 2 standard deviations, right, this trend is still relevant, okay? There's still, this, what am I trying to say here? This is 2 standard deviations below the mean, okay, given, Pearson's R squared, I guess you could consider it as of 0.82. So this is a data set that's pretty well correlated, okay? And we're currently just testing the -2 standard deviation. So we could even go to the -3 or 3 standard deviations below the mean and really be safe. And this trend is still, intact and still would be fine. And so if we were to dump that and do it today, right, that takes us down to 21 or roughly around, right, 22 if we move to the next couple of days. And that would be an ideal place to buy, right, for me. Now, if we move below that, then I'll start to, things may take a turn for the worse, and we may see this, move down a whole lot more. But, currently, I'm just not too terribly worried about this here until we see this, again, on the weekly close below this region, below 30, okay? And I'll say it again. I'm not worried until we see this close below 30 on the weekly. Okay. We are 2 days into this week. We got, it may dip and we may, be able to pick up some stuff at discount. But we see how quickly these have been bought back up, right? So, if you're in any leverage trades right now, then maybe careful. Certainly if you're in any longs, you watch your liquidation. You may be forced liquidated, be careful with that. But if you're holding and you're going long term for this, for me, this is just ideal to be able to pick up, stuff at a discount, right? Like I'm bullish on Bitcoin long term for sure, crypto in general. But, we could take a look at some other charts as well. I don't think it matters right now. When Bitcoin starts to test these critical areas, alts tend to dump. Everybody's getting scared because they know, if Bitcoin tanks, then alts are going to go down with it. And they generally do so, a lot more with more volatility, right? Their betas are pretty high against Bitcoin. Sorry, let me look at chat here. $1 billion question. Yeah, exactly. Is it safe to buy? 35,000 rejected in middle of range. Yep, absolutely. Long-term super bullish. Yeah, same. I've been buying the sell signal for you. You're welcome. Seriously. This looks like it will bottom out here soon. So I had a short here and I actually got rid of it down here. And I didn't take another short here, but I'd shorted the market here, and I'll tell you why. Okay, and this is for prefab. Specifically, I was looking. I guess technically, I was looking at this indicator here, right? That we had this divergence that had been, playing out for a while, and we were getting close to this 682, and then we broke low. Okay, so sure enough, I got it pretty close to the top here, and we dumped, and I took profit on that short. Great, good for me. But what really made me want to take that short was the amount of people that were talking about, Bitcoin, crypto, Dogecoin, everything else. As a matter of fact, I had a boss who called me and asked me how he could invest. And I said, yep, this is it. Time to take profit and get out. When, my 60-something-year-old former boss is calling me to figure out how he needs to invest is my indication that it's probably time to go. And sure enough, with the technical indicator, along with the, I guess the, what could we call it? A boomer indicator. It did go down. Now, it came back up and everything since has happened. But for me, I kind of, that seemed like a good indication of a top right there. Another indication would be the pi cycle indicator was once again pretty much um, accurately forecasted this as well. If you're not familiar with pi cycle indicator, let me put this into log. Let me get rid of this regression trend. I may actually have it in here already. Show enough. So pi cycle indicator is, well, do the research if you'd like, but 350 and 111 moving average. The calculation isn't just that, but when they cross, it's been indicative of a top historically. Well, you can't really see it on against USDT, but clearly we can see that it called the top pretty much. I mean, nailed it right when we had that cross. And you can zoom in a little bit closer, but you can see it bang right here. Okay, and it's called every top for quite a few. So now we're getting this pretty large divergence between the two, and we're moving back down. So we want to see this push back up. But that's, that was just another thing that we were seeing again with everything else. So there is that. So where are we at now with this? Do I trade Forex? No, I'm not trading Forex. Sorry. Just crypto at the moment. I'm not really in any equity just crypto really right now, to be honest with you. So again, clearly we've got this area of support here at 28. We've got this low here, 28,801, 28,885. So anything below 28, we need to start getting a little bit concerned because it may just, I would anticipate there's likely going to be a lot of stops down here, maybe a little bit lower here. So, but if it drops below 28,000, you would probably anticipate that 25 is going to come in pretty quick, right? We can take this out of log again and pull up our volume profile and kind of see where our point of control is, what's been rejected, right? That's right here at this 35. And now we're pushing down. Next area down here at 10,000. I don't think, if we get down that far, that's that, but I'm not so sure that that'd be the case. You got a point of control down here at 910. But I think for sure 20,000, and then again this 22, wherever that's at, need to be tested first, and then 27. I mean, this whole area, we don't know where we could potentially go, but we can certainly take a look at something else here. Let's go back into log. Let me get rid of my volume profile. Hopefully everybody is keeping up with me. I tend to babble with this stuff, but I just love it so much. Let's see here. So let's take a look at this first. Right here, here, and here. Okay. And hide that guy there. Right. You can see we pushed up here. And actually, I think it's on the linear chart. No? This 1618 was a level of support we found. Now we're sitting at this 1414, 1272 is probably our next bet if we're just looking at this trend-based extension here. But what I'd like to do is pull this. Get rid of this real quick. Man, it's hot. I closed my window because it was super windy, and now I'm like hot in here. So this low to high, right? And I'm not sure why this isn't. Where's the rest of my levels? Oh, okay, I guess they're down there. Anyway, so we got that here. This 121.7, something like that would be an area of potential support. But again, if I'm looking here, let's go like the 2-day. I like to tend to do the previous low or the low before we get a jump up, right? And so that was that area over here again, right? And you can see we're pretty much like right on it. So 25 is a fib support, 50% retracement. I don't know. You can really just speculate all you want at these different levels. But the only thing that we can really do right now is look for this daily close, right? Oh, excuse me. And where we're going to go from here. Below this 28.5, we may dip down to this 25 pretty quick. If we do get down here, um, well, it's going to be a more difficult road back up for sure, right? There's a lot of bearish news, right, in the market right now. So there's a lot of reasons for the market, crypto to fall. And that said, there's a lot of reasons for it to pump as well. It's so volatile, it's so finicky for sure. That these people in the news all have the ability to really control this, just because of the volatility, the uncertainty, globally. I think with everything, we've got the Delta variant, we've got the Dow and the SPY just dumped today. Likely some sort of systemic relationship with what's going on in crypto right now as well. So, the potential for us to move down is pretty high. I think, to see this go lower, in my opinion, just because of where we're at on the daily. 2-day is what we're looking at, but on the daily, this crossed low here. Now, certainly we could see this jump right back up. I mean, how far are we into the new day? 4 hours into a new day, I guess. And so, we got a lot of time where this could just, where we're at now, just could become a wick, right? But if we do close this day low, we potentially will just continue downward and, test all these levels. You bought at 31K. Where should I put your stop? Institution buying on the way down. Yeah. So, if you're trading, you should have had your trade plan set already, right? Like if you're trading, you should have already known where your stop was going to be and the risk associated with that. Okay. If you're investing, then it's irrelevant, right? You're just going to continue, buy as it goes down. If you're investing, you believe in this long term. So when it goes down like this is the opportunity to acquire more at a cheaper price, right? If you're trading though, and you have risk associated with this trade that you're unwilling to take, then again, you should. I highly recommend that people have their trade plan and what they plan on doing well before they even hit buy, right? As a matter of fact, this has been, the TradingView is rebranded. The website and the thing that they're pushing, and rightly so. Well, I want to say pushing, but is this look first then leap, right? And so this is something that everybody should be cognizant of in trading, right? Again, investing is a little different, but in trading is have your plan, plan it out. There's a lot of work that goes into the back end that you should be doing prior to hitting that buy. And I don't know if it's still up. Maybe I'll make another one and put it on permanent. But a way to evaluate your risk, just by building a pretty easy Excel program or sheet. Nothing difficult about it. Really simple math, but you can just plug it in. It's what I've used for some time now, and evaluating risk on your portfolio, and then your risk on the actual trade itself. So hopefully that answered your question. But Mark Cady, man. But so where should you put your stop loss? Yeah, I'll tell you, you shouldn't be asking me. That's at the end of the day. That it should have already been evaluated. Okay. So, it really just depends on your entire plan, what you can afford to lose and whether or not you're willing to. And I realize that this is no fun, right? When we see this kind of stuff, it's never as satisfying, when we get a 6%, 7% drop, we get a 25% dump, 20% dump. That's 40, 50% right there. Okay. Um, Not quite as satisfying as when it jumps, 50, 75, 100%. But, um, at the end of the day, again, if you're investing, this is prime time to buy. This is great. If you believe in uh, an asset, or an equity, or Bitcoin, or whatever it is, you look to invest in it. You're investing money in the technology, into the whatever it is. If you're trading, you should have a profit, your loss, everything in it, whatever your plan is already figured out. Okay. Not sure to finish. If you haven't planned stop before, yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And a lot of this, I've paid my tuition, is what I called it. I've given a lot of money to the market. Well, I mean, I don't want to say a lot, but I've certainly taken my fair share of losses. And I consider it tuition, lessons learned, right? Not putting a stop, or understanding your psychological biases and how they affect you specifically, because one bias may not affect someone as strongly as another, right? And these are all things that you learn through experience, but you can learn that through experience utilizing something like paper trading through TradingView or some other platform. It doesn't hit as hard when you lose, fake, not, non-existent money, as when you lose real money, even if it's just a little bit. But you can learn those lessons, right? And I definitely encourage that for anybody who's just getting in here to trade. JS Armor, hey, welcome. Yep, yes, I've certainly paid my tuition. There's no doubt about that. But I think all traders have. If you just come into the market and you just do great and you're just some phenom, well, fantastic and good for you. You're good on you, right? But I think most of us have taken our fair share of losses right in the chin. 40 or 50 after hitting 25, lower, come back down. So Aliyah, I guess. I tend to make predictions like that. Okay. And it's not because I'm afraid of, not getting it right, um, or looking bad, or tarnishing my reputation. Because to be perfectly honest, I don't really care. At the end of the day, I'm here to make me money. I just do this because I love it, and I've been encouraged to share my thoughts. So, I don't like making those kinds of predictions, simply because, at least that far out, uh, with any certainty, simply because you got like a 50-50 chance of being right, first of all. Okay. Anyone could do it. You're going to be right at some amount of time. You get 50-50, right? It's either going to go down or go up. But do you will have another bounce between 40 or 50? Yeah, eventually, right? It'll go up to 40 or 50. Potentially it'll go down, Yeah, so skate crazy man, it is a joke. It's meant to be sensationalistic. It's sarcasm for sure. No, I do not think. Oh, ADA. Yeah, Doge. Yeah, I'll take a look at some of those here shortly. But yeah, so I mean, again, I'll say it again for anybody who's just joined here. I've been saying it for weeks now. I'm looking for a close below 30, or I'm looking for a close above 40. Okay. On the weekly, I want to see a weekly close below 30 or a weekly close above 40. And then we can kind of take a look at where we're going to be going soon. What do you think about alt season? Man, I hate alt season. I hate that everybody. Um, I think alt season is defined by when the market is going up and there's a lot of interest in people buying altcoins in different projects, simply because you can, throw money into anything and likely, just hold it and likely make money because the entire market is going up. So, I think once we have confirmation that we're out of the woods here for Bitcoin specifically, but kind of the main uh, major market cap coins, but really Bitcoin going down, and we start to move up, then we start to get that jump and a little bit of sideways movement. That'll be quote unquote alt season. Outside of that, I kind of just dislike that term. Even alts. I mean, there's so many different. Anything that's not Bitcoin is technically an altcoin, but there's so many different. We got DeFi. You've got, your level 2. You got all sorts of stuff. Anyway, all those shit coins never pull back after the storm. Yeah, well, they certainly don't. A lot of them don't. And so, okay, let's go to ADA. It's been requested. ADA USD. Let's just look at it against on Binance. Oh wow. Apparently I marked this chart up some time ago. Yeah. Okay. Well, we hit the targets here. Let me use a different. Let's take it on Bitfinex. Okay. So in the same way that we were seeing this level of support, and I mean, I don't even really need to mark this up at this point because the actual price is creating a great trend line here. But we're seeing this on Bitcoin, right? Same thing where we're sitting at this level of support. ADA is sitting at this level of support. I'd be willing to bet if we were to go to Ethereum, we're likely to see kind of the same thing where we're sitting right on some level of support. Let's take a look. Yeah, weird, right? Just market wide. So, when we're looking at this, then, I mean, it just goes to show you that if Bitcoin really closes, but drops below this 30,000, closes below 30,000, pushes below 28,000 specifically, and closes below that, pretty much everything's going to go down with it, right? Because we're sitting on these levels of support for most things, right? Now, there's other, like 1inch, right? Not the same thing. Oh, good Lord. I've absolutely just let me just get rid of this. There you go. So 1inch is sitting on support, right? If we're looking at that, let's say, Uniswap, Sushi, these kinds of things. Uniswap sitting on an area of support, right? Sushi sitting on an area of support. Now, this is against USDT, so I think there's historical data that we don't have in this chart. But again, across the board, it's just, we're waiting to see what Bitcoin does, I think, right? I mean, we're getting this very similar thing where we're sitting across support. If we don't find support here soon, then, choose your alt, choose your coin, and look at some area, the next area level of support. So for this would be 80 cents, maybe even as low as 40, right? Let's take a look at Dodge. That was requested. Doge, I'm sorry. See, same thing. Level of support, just chilling right there. If we drop Doge, I mean, Doge is going to eat straight doo-doo probably, but we'll find, 13 cents here. 272 is down here at 6 cents, which I would likely anticipate a little bit more than this 13 cents just because Doge is not my favorite project. Just a lot of hype around this, and because one of the richest men in the world seems to think that it's, I don't know, cute. I don't know what Elon Musk's deal is with Doge, but whatever. Shiba Inu, I saw that. Shitty projects like, yeah, yes. I tend to agree with that. Doge, Shiba Inu, and now we have, what was it, Anon Inu? Like Anonymous decided to come out and have their own coin. They did it at a really terrible time, by the way. All of this. Doge on the daily does not look good, right? You see how we're in this range right here? Okay. And it's bouncing around. As we bounce in this range, it's just going to make lower lows, and they're going to tend to be very likely pretty drastic. Okay. So if we don't find support here, again, just across the board, looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything, it's very likely we're going to see some pretty substantial dumps. Okay. So again, if you're not investing and you're trading these things and it hurts you at even the thought of seeing a 50, 80, 75% loss on these things, because you did have it at 60, 75 cents or whatever it was up here. Well, that's on, that's up to you. But again, if you're investing in this stuff, you believe in these things, then this is just an opportunity to kind of buy at these lows. If it does hit 21K, is it likely to stay there for a while as institutional buyers will absorb most of the selling? As investors, not trader, you should be thinking, yes. Haha, so many of them will survive for sure. Yep. Could it potentially rise up to $3? I'm not sure which one you're referring to there. Milo, I guess ADA. Could it? Okay, well, let's take a look at ADA. The question is, can ADA hit $3? The answer is yes. Okay. But it could also go down to 14 cents, right? So, I mean, the real question is, how long are you willing to wait for it to hit $3? Right? This is the difference between trading and investing in something, right? If you're investing in something, you're investing in a project, you don't care where it goes in the short term. In the long term, you have confidence that it'll reach, some high. Okay. Now, I will say that, even as an investor, if you've got, if your plan is if it breaks below some, level of support or resistance below that, you want to be out because you don't want to take this loss, this 51% loss, then, that's your plan. That's what you're doing. But at the end of the day, if you believe in Cardano, you think that this is going to be, some world changing, um, project, then, take these losses, throw some more money in or whatever. But again, this should all be known before you even, hit the buy button in the first place, right? Insight, keep up the work. Hey, thanks, man. All right. So, all of that said, I haven't mentioned it yet, but the grayscale unlock was yesterday. Well, yesterday for me, Sunday, the 18th, I believe is what the date was. Yeah, Sunday the 18th. And so that allowed everybody who, had invested initially into Grayscale's Bitcoin fund or whatever to sell, right? And we've got this little bit of dump here, okay? And we'll see if it continues on, right? But it's hard to say, right? Because there are a lot of institutions who are heavily invested in this, like MicroStrategies right now. As a matter of fact, let me just take a look because I have not looked at them today. MicroStrategies. Oh, yeah, a little bit painful for them past week or two, right? 29%. Sailors not liking this, but again, there's this level of support. We are sitting on support. Got a little bit more support down here and here. Tesla probably moved down a little bit as well today, but again, sitting on support, right? Right here. Bounced right off this 625. Nice double bottom there. Tesla finding support here. A little bit of a divergence, actually. So this may range here in this area for a little while. But, we'll see. Let's take a look at the market cap. Total market cap here. Weird. This is just everything. Let's take a look at total too. This is all the alts, right? Same thing. I mean, just across the board, we're just seeing this, right? I hope everybody can see the relevance of this pattern, right? We're sitting on this support This is either going to be a break and a fall, right? Maybe down to the 500 billion region on the market cap here, which is just going to be all of the alts eating crap. Okay. And that's kind of what my bias is at this point, to be honest, looking at this, right? We're breaking into this area. Okay. We could jump back up, but we've broken into this area. We're moving up here on our ADX. MACD is not looking so hot, right? So, seeing this move down is a very real possibility. Okay. But we'll see. We'll see how the day closes. We'll see how the week closes. Again, I'll say it the 500th time during this podcast. I'm looking for a close below 30,000 or a close above 40,000 to really determine what we're doing. Until then, we've just been moving sideways and, kind of up and down and up and down and up and down, right? What are my personal thoughts on ADA? I don't really have any, to be perfectly honest with you. I think there's a lot of hype around it. Hold on. Looking at Bitfinex, I think we were at. Yeah. Certainly they got a great team. It's not, just a bunch of BS. There's a lot of interest in it, but outside of that, I mean, I don't know. I'm more of a trader. The only thing I really long term invest in is really kind of just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then XRP. And no, I'm not an XRPer, right? I'm not like one of the 2017 fanatical XRP Ripple people. But I do think that it's what they've got going on with the SEC and what's happening with the SEC, and what could potentially come of that with Ripple will give them some serious legitimacy, and especially if they are able to move forward with what the project is about, it'll become worth a lot. So I do accumulate XRP, but there is a whole community around Ripple that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way back in 2017, 2018. Just fanatical, right? They're kind of like Doge people. No offense if there's any Doge people here, but it's just like, this whole idea of like everybody, oh, come on, apes. Everybody, the whole stock market or Wall Street bets community of investors, which is great, but it's like a double-edged sword because it's just too many people are going to get burned. I think it was great when the market was going up, but when it's going down, and I don't know. We're looking at AMC. I'm kind of getting off topic here a little bit. No, I got it here. It was a bit of a short. I came into AMC at $1.99. Okay, $1.99, and I did so based on this divergence, right? It was right around here, but we had this divergence here and here, right? And I could not have anticipated that it was going to go to where it did, I guess, especially in the short amount of time that it did. And I actually took profit way too early. But then it just turned into this whole thing with Wall Street bets and, all those kinds of groups that I just don't understand. I guess it's community. It's created a community around this kind of stuff. But it's not all bad, right? Because they're promoting financial awareness and trading. So it's great skills to have. I certainly wasn't interested in that kind of stuff when I was younger. So anyways, I don't know. I'm kind of getting off track here. What are we looking at here? I'm getting hot. It's hot in here. About 50 minutes. I want to keep these under an hour. Not a lot to say. No, I don't think Bitcoin is going to zero. Ermergerd, it's not going to zero. Currently, if we're looking at a linear regression trend, we're sitting about 2 standard deviations below the mean, right? Depending on how you look at it. But certainly, I think this is at the moment holding up pretty well. One more thing I do want to look at, actually, is Mayer multiple and the Mayer multiple bands here. And so taking a look at this now, having said that, we can see we finally broke below this. So this is showing 20,000 is the next area of support as this lower band here. If you're not familiar with Mare multiple bands, NVT, all that, go to willywoo.com or woobull, I think, .com. Lots of information about that there. Willie Woo is a great analyst, I believe, very intelligent. And so, you can learn more about that there. However, just this has been put into an indicator. And so this lower standard deviation here at about 20,000, I think is fair. I've been waiting for a test of 20,000 since we broke out of it and just never looked back. So it could potentially happen sooner than later at this point, but we'll see. Again, looking for that weekly close. I'll probably do another stream as we close closer to that, or come in closer to that. Until then, let's just wait and see. It's just kind of across the market. There's really no sense in going over, all the different altcoins at this point, because in my opinion, this is, Bitcoin's going to determine what's going to be happening here in the short term. So keep your eyes peeled, stay safe, and trade safe. And we'll get back on here as soon as we can and be watching the market for sure. Everybody have a great day. And don't forget, if you can, just give me a follow. I appreciate it. Make comments, likes, all that other stuff. I do look through them. And yeah. So anyway, thank you. Have a great day. And we will talk to you later. All right. Bye.